Welcome guys to another edition of Rage Against the Dice. Today we're going to be talking about Middle-earth battle companies. Now, Middle-earth battle companies is Games Workshop's latest iteration of battle companies for the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game / Hobbit strategy battle game. Because as you know, it's had a couple of rebrandings. It looks like it's being rebranded now to Middle-earth. So I'm just going to get this tripod set up here. As always, ever the professional. Yes, so Battle Company's coming out, and we are going to do a review of the rulebook. And that's going to go up online next Saturday. This Saturday? It's going to go up on a Saturday, depending on when you watch this video. I shall quickly check for you. You're looking at the 3rd. The 3rd of February this is going to go up. So if you're watching it after that date, then it's already up. If not, then, as I said, it's going to be up this Saturday. As you can potentially see in front of you, I have Hobbits. Because the battle company that I am doing is the Shire. Now, the way Battle Company works is you have already preset lists. And with the Hobbits, or the Shire, you get 8 militia and 4 archers to start. So you start with 12 models. And then as the game progresses, you level up. And you guys level up and they get experience of things they do. They also have to potentially take injury rolls and see what happens to them. And it has a very campaign narrative style of play. Now, the one that we are running, and it's being ran by some of my close friends who I know from Games Workshop Sunderland. If you're in the northeast, check out Games Workshop Sunderland. It's pretty darn awesome. But yes, so it's being ran by 2 of my mates, Calvin and Michael, and we are going to film some, if not all of the campaign. And we're going to put it up on the channel, and then we'll give you sort of brief kind of overviews of what's going on. So what I'm doing now is I'm just painting up my Hobbits ready. Now, as you can see here, I have a load of them sprayed black, and altogether I've got 4, 8, 12, 16 with these guys, 28, 9, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 so far. Now, I've actually done mine in a couple of separate ways. Because you start off with basic militia and basic archers, so that would be a basic militia model, and then a basic archer. And then you can get more as the game progresses, and they can level up to other things. So what I've done for the upgraded version is I'm using Lord of the Rings models, of which I got some cool ones from some friends. Everyone's been really good with this, and we've been kind of sharing stuff. So if people have got a couple of elf characters lying around just to help people out, we've been hooking them up, and then that's where a lot of these Hobbits have come from. So I'm currently painting these up, but I put bows on their back because I'm going to paint these up to look like Dunedain Rangers. So they are going to be Hobbits, obviously. But when the archers level up, they're going to level up, and I'm going to have mine looking like little mini Hobbit Dunedain Ranger ones. And then for when the militia level up, I've got them. I'm just going to use cloaked Lord of the Rings models, so you can differentiate them. So I'm currently painting up Frodo now, and then I'm painting up my archers, and I'm painting up a couple of others. So you will be getting paint in progress reports as we go out on this. But yeah, it was just to let you guys know that we are starting another game, which on this occasion is Battle Companies. However, we're not going to cover, we are going to try and cover as much of the campaign as possible, but we're not going to cover it all. We are going to look at the book and the different races, or the different war bands, and how they progress and things like that. We'll look through the books together, which is nice, and I will introduce you to everybody's teams. So because I'm working on mine, I wanted to show you them as we go. We have been asked on the channel for a lot more painting stuff, so I'll probably be doing the first live painting thing that we do, the first live chat we do, will probably be me painting Hobbits. Or I've got a commission for another guy within our group for Battle Companies, and they're Mirkwood Elves, and some Mordor. So there's a good chance I'll be painting something Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit, or Middle-earth based in the next review, or the next video, or our first live, as it were. I don't know, I'm throwing a lot of words at you guys, as always. Yes, I'm not using the new microphone for this video, because as you can see, I've got it on the kind of selfie stick tripod, and that's because we're in my painting area, which, as I said, is really, really good for painting. But the way all the lights, you can see all the different shines from where all my different bulbs are hitting the desk, it makes it really, really good for painting. But my camera doesn't pick it up very well, which is why I don't tend to do as many painting tutorials anymore. I've mentioned in a couple of other videos, actually, that yeah, my painting area is not very good for filming, and that's unfortunate for people who want more painting videos. But I am going to set something up, either by repositioning lights or setting something up. Maybe I need to get some more lights for the camera, so you guys get to see what I get to see. But yeah, it seems I'm usually able to get in a lot better with a selfie stick. Yeah, I do own a selfie stick, and I'm very ashamed of myself for it. But anyway, yeah, so when we look at the ones I've painted so far, you can see with the grass, I've tried to, where possible, let me whop this guy up, make the grass look really, really big. That's obviously to put into perspective the actual size of the Hobbits. And that's Sam. There's Mary. Pip. Well, well, that's Chip now. No, it isn't. And then when I look at the final one I've got fully painted, which is Bilbo. And I love this. This is my favourite version of Bilbo. I was tempted to put like a dagger or something in his hand, but I just love the book in one hand and the pocket watch in the other. So the way Battle Companies works is you choose a captain and 2 lieutenants. And they're just normal statted guys. They just get might, fade and will. If you've played the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game before, you'll know exactly what I mean. If not, we will be covering a how to play video on it, so you can watch that and catch up. But yeah, I love that model so much that I decided just to keep him as he is. And he's going to be my captain. I do have another Bilbo. He's a lot smaller, and he's gone out my hand. He's got a little dagger, and he's a fine cast model. He's not a bad model. He's a very, very nice model, but the size is starkly different. I've got Merry and Pip in their armoured form. Guard of the Citadel and Rohan Knight with his little shield. But yeah, so I've got a lot of variety. I've started making up some conversions because I had 2 Farmer Maggots, so I'm going to use one as Farmer Maggot. Boom, I love Farmer Maggot. It's a great model, and I love his dogs. And then I've made this one, which is my copy of Lurtz, because the Lurtz model's got his hand in the air and he's got a bow in his other hand. So I've given this guy a bow. And the bow and the arrows and such, they came from our Test of Honor miniature. And then these others, like these bows here, and is it the bow on this guy? Yeah, the bow on this guy are from Moria Goblins, and I've just filed down some of the spiky bits on the bow and things like that, just because you only get 4 archer models, and you start with 4 archer models, so it meant that my archers were all essentially going to look the same, and they'd only be differentiated by painting. So I thought what I would do is I would chop some arms off some militia, and I would convert them up so that they have bows. So like this guy here is this guy here. Same guy, just missing the bow. or I've added a bow, as it were. I'm also going to chop a couple of heads off. Not these ones. I've got more that are coming. I'm going to chop some of the heads off and switch them round so that you can have two guys who are in the exact same position and they'll look slightly different. I'll also be doing some bits of green stuff and things like that on them. Maybe add a couple of beards here and there, that kind of thing. Nothing too bushy. I don't want to go dwarf. I want my hobbits to stand out a bit. But yeah, so Battle Company is really interesting because most guys, I think you can have up to 15 models, and with hobbits you can have up to 25. So it's a small warband. You can make it a lot more personable, or much more personal. You'd think I'd retake these, but no, I'm on a flow. It may be a rambling, ranting flow, but I'm in the zone. So we'll just leave it at that. But no, so yeah, you get a small amount of models. You can really customize them, make them to your preference, as long as they are, WYSIWYG. And the only one of mine that isn't is my Bilbo, who's got the book and the pocket watch. And there's nothing to say that he doesn't have a dagger on the inside of his coat, the back of his belt, or anything like that, because all he needs is a hand weapon. Maybe the book itself is even classed as a hand weapon, who knows, because they're hobbits. As you can see from some of the other ones I've shown, they're armed with scythes and pickaxes and what they can pick up. They do have some daggers and things like that, but it's mainly axes and stuff. But yeah, so some of the others we've got is Michael is using Rohan, Josh is using Mirkwood, I believe. Jacob from Warpforge, whose link will be below, I believe he's using Arno, but I could be wrong. No, he isn't. He's using something else, and it'll come to me at some point. And I'll probably have to do a revision of this video. It's Calvin who's doing Arno. The other Kev, or Kev 2, or Younger Kev, or Scottish Kev, or Evil Kev, he's got many a name. He is doing either Isengard or Minas Tirith. He's painting up both, and I think he's going to choose which one he likes the look of best once they're done. I think Ryan is doing dwarves. Now, at the minute, a lot of these names don't mean a lot to you, but they very much will come in soon. So if you watch this video and then you watch some of those, you'll be like, there's the Ryan of who we speak, etc. I believe Kyle, who is the manager of Games Workshop Sunderland, is either doing elves, like Rivendell elves, or he's doing Harad. I know he's currently building up both, and again, he probably is going to see which ones he gets painted. One of the guys, Philip, is doing Easterlings, so we're going to have a big, different array of different models. I'm trying to get Alan involved, but if Alan does it, he'll probably end up having to use Rohan, as I won't have time to get anything else painted up for him, because I'm already painting. I've got, in fact, since starting Lord of the Rings, and a lot of people have seen, I've been posting up some of the pictures on Instagram and stuff, I've managed to, off the back of it, get 7 commissions for Lord of the Rings based models. So I'm pretty booked up and busy at the minute. So if you have emailed me about a commission, either through Rage Against the Dice or through craftandsheep@gmail.com or via Facebook directly, and I haven't got back to you yet, I definitely will be getting back to everyone. It's just that I'm really stupidly busy at the minute. The painting side of things is just myself. Alan doesn't really paint. He's learning, but he doesn't. Effectively, the commission side of stuff Alan wouldn't be doing anyway. So it is just me who's doing that, and that's why I tend to stick to saying that I'll do. I don't go high end. I go tabletop and slightly above. Or what I class as tabletop seems to be slightly above what people class tabletop anyway, but I say tabletop and I charge tabletop prices for it. Kind of, these here are what I class as tabletop. So I would class that as tabletop standard. So you'd be getting 3 or 4 highlights on a cloak, 2 highlights on a shirt and pants, and 3 or 4 highlights on skin, trying to keep it as natural as possible. metals highlight as appropriate. But yeah, I try and do a really good job at a reasonable price, but at the same time, I don't want to spend 20 hours doing one model for a commission that will pay me the same as painting 5 Space Marines in like 4 hours. And that might sound stupid, but I like to work like that. I don't want to spend ages on one particular model that isn't for me. So commission based, I tend to just take tabletop, and I tend to do big armies and things like that. A couple of drop fleet ones, where it's like 5 to 20 ships. Same with drop zone and things like that are different. I really like painting small scale stuff. So, but yeah, I'm rambling on as always. We will have more Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, Middle-earth battle companies coming in the near future. If you've got loads of stuff lying around at home, I urge you to get in on it. But yeah, it's going to be something we're going to be playing to start with at home and in our local games workshop. But hopefully we'll be getting some games in the Battle Bunker now that the Battle Bunker's opened back up. So congratulations to Just on that one. I haven't managed to get down there and have a look at it yet, but I'm really excited to get a game in or two there. He's got some dedicated smaller tables for things like Shadespire. There's also the board in Peterlee, which is a gaming shop which has some tables and stuff. I'm really interested to get down there as well. So we're going to try and get some games of Lord of the Rings, Middle-earth, Hobbit, strategy battle game, etc. I don't know what I'm going to just call it Middle-earth strategy battle games for now. And if you hear me say Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, just know I mean the same thing. But yeah, we're going to try and get to a couple of different venues. I want to get down to Warlord Games in Newcastle. Not Warlord Games as in the company. Warlord Games as in the gaming group. Gaming thing? Gaming club, that's the word I couldn't think of. So I would like to get down to their gaming club because I know Blackjack Legacy goes there and a couple of others. Maybe try and meet up with Gibson and a few others as well, because I know Gibson specifically is very into his Lord of the Rings, and not the game but the lore and the RPGs. So I reckon if I brought over an army with him, if he hasn't already got one, I could probably convince him to have a game or two. But yeah, I want it to be big again. I want Games Workshop to realise that it's not just like the little stepchild of the company. Because at one point it was their biggest selling game, like around about the time of the films and stuff like that. I'm under no illusion that once the films disappeared from cinemas, the game kind of petered out a bit. And for whatever reason, when The Hobbit came out, they didn't really promote it or anything like that, right, in my personal opinion. A lot of people didn't even know it still existed. And maybe that was because the films were a bigger flop than I think people were expecting. I don't know. It's all speculation and conjecture, really. What I'm trying to say is, 25 quid, the Lord of the Rings Battle Company's book is. Most battle groups in it or war bands is probably going to set you back about 45, 50 quid, which is the same as a getting started box, except that's all you'll ever need for them unless you wanted to expand into the bigger game. But it plays really well, it plays really quick, it uses a very, very nice rule set, and yeah, I want to see it grow, and I want Games Workshop to start releasing the older models again, as well as maybe doing some new sculpts, because some of the sculpts are a bit hideous now just because of age. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, leave us a comment, especially if you play Lord of the Rings or you've had an army and you kind of think, I wouldn't mind getting back in that again. Let us know. If you are in the Northwest, for instance, just let us know and we'll give a shout out in the next video like anybody else in the Northwest. There's people looking to play and that kind of thing. But yeah, pray the dice gods and hope they smile upon you. Take care, guys.